So this is a masterclass on how to study copy effectively, and someone has written a page for it. If you're a patron, you subscribe to our Patreon, and you want to submit some copies to be reviewed, please give this kind of context at the top. It really helps give us a frame in which to review the copy. So traffic most likely comes from YouTube channels, not Patreon subscribers, most likely people who are new to the channel, not new to copywriting. The goal for people to buy this masterclass, the reader, is beginner copywriters who want to write great copy and have already been told that reading copy is a good thing to do, but they don't really believe that claim. The idea, proving that if you want to learn how to write great, then you must learn how to read great copy. Then convincing this masterclass will show them how to do it. Actually, click on the button directing them to purchase the page. I do kind of feel like this would be better targeted at people who already accept that reading and studying great copy is the way to get good. And this is just a solution for how to do that. But nonetheless, I'll review it with your audience in mind. All right, still the eyes of the copywriting god, masterclass on studying copy. The only and best way to know how to write great copy is to read great copy, especially if you're just starting out. Because, okay, first of all, this is good overall, this opening, because you're immediately calling out the thing that they want to do, which is write great copy, which is what you said they want to do, and who they are, that they're just starting out. The first way that I could see restructuring this, and this is what we would call a functional edit, if I don't accept currently that reading is the best way to do it, do you think that you just repeating that is going to kind of convince me immediately? Like this, I know you say because, and you go on to talk about it, but I might just think like, oh, well, you're just going to tell me what everyone else already told me. So probably not worth my time. So that's something to consider there. The way that I would restructure this, I would start with a call out. So I would say, if you're just starting out, you may have heard that reading copy is the only way to learn it. Like that's the first thing I would say, because you've called out who I am and you are referencing the thing that I've been told, but you're not telling me that, oh, I'm wrong to think otherwise, right? Then try and sympathize with me. Don't immediately start with a, hey, you're wrong. Go like, we know that doesn't make sense, but hear us out. Even just by saying that, you have sympathized with me. You've shown me that you're on my side, that you understand what I'm thinking, that this is themed towards me, but you've not said to me like immediately like, hey, you're wrong. I still don't think that this is the right target audience for this. I still think the right target audience is someone who already accepts that they know they want to learn how to read and analyze good copy. But if you are targeting that kind of person, I would just think about restructuring that so you're not immediately opposing yourself to their point of view. The only and best way to know how to write great copy is to read great copy, especially if you're just starting out. Because I want to reiterate, this isn't bad, because you do then give justification. So at least then I'm like, oh, well, you're going to tell me something to challenge my beliefs. Like at least I'll see what your take on it is. Learning to write great copy without studying successful examples is like playing a sport without watching skilled athletes. It doesn't make sense. I feel like this analogy could be stronger. This doesn't leave me thinking like, oh God, yeah, like that's a light bulb moment. Like that makes sense. I would instead like immediately offer some kind of proof. If you just kind of use an analogy here, you're not really showing me anything new. You're not really making me think of it in a new way. However, anyone with a pair of functioning eyeballs can look at a piece of copy and understand its literal meaning. That's why the most prized and sought after copywriters know that it's beyond just literal meaning and more about figuring out how, why, and what makes successful copy work. What I would do here is I would really stick to that idea, which is that you want to write great copy. I would call that out as well. Surprisingly, 90% of copywriters never bother learning this skill, and that's why most of them fail. Therefore, this masterclass will provide you with the ability to break down any piece of copy, the skill that has singularly accelerated the success of Rod's career, so you can use the same abilities to become a successful copywriter who can write outstanding copy. There are good bits to pick out here. I think it still suffers slightly from throwing in quite a few different points, and they're not quite succinct enough together all in one go. This is effectively saying, hey, to get this benefit you want, read on, and you're a beginner. Like, I know you're a beginner, so read on if you want this benefit. That's what that's saying. Learning to write great copy without studying successful examples is like, then you're giving a, hey, doing this thing you like is like this other thing that you already know. Then you're bringing in the point, but like just reading isn't enough. Like you have to go one step further than reading. Then you go, the best copywriters know it's about being further than reading. Hey, did you also know that most copywriters fail because they don't learn this? Well, I'm going to tell you how to learn this with Rod, and then you can become a successful copywriter. There's quite a few competing ideas there. The big hang up for me is kind of this transition here. You then go on to kind of talk about like, well, anyone can look at copy and understand its literal meaning. I don't feel like you have justified why I should believe this? Why? How does this actually work? How does this help me? You've just offered an analogy. If you brought up Rod's success and about you like, hey, you know that guy who you've seen on the our YouTube channel, because you said that's where they've come from. The only reason he's where he is, and the only reason his copy has been mega successful, is because he learned to read copy. He puts all of it down to that. He's not some like rando on the internet telling you it's the blah, blah, blah. It's the person you've already been learning copy from, including Sean, including Alex, including Lindsey. All of them put their best copywriting success down to this fact. Then if you can give some kind of like clarifying analogy, that then makes a bit more sense. So then, okay, right, I'm kind of one round, fine. I now agree that I need this. Successful Nike copywriter reveals his personal LSC approach, allowing you to decipher the secrets behind any successful copy on command. Most copywriters have all been told that reading copy is one of, if not the most beneficial things they can do at the beginning stage of career. However, many copywriters may believe that the fastest route to writing high converted copy involves devouring endless books and rolling in more courses than they can handle. Even worse, some rely on countless copy templates and formulas. Don't even get me started on that. But in reality, theory is just one tiny piece of the puzzle, relying solely on books and courses, like trying to become a chef just by reading a cookbook cover to cover without ever flipping on the stove. So this headline, you are saying, hey, you can break down any piece of copy on command by learning this system. That's what that headline is saying. But then you start this body copy by convincing them again that they should want to do that. If you're telling me how to do it, you should already assume that I want to do it, because if I don't want to do it, why would I care about how to do it? This objection that you're trying to kind of tackle here should be something they've already gone through further up the page or before they've got here, if that is the headline that you're doing. And that's the point I was making up here as well, is that you seem to move on quite quickly from that fact, then onto like, hey, like now you want to learn this because like it's good and Rod's great without really offering any proof. Then you say, this is how you learn it. And then you go back to saying, oh, and you'll want to learn it too. Even worse, some rely on countless copy templates and formulas. Don't even get me started on that. Now, this is a trope in writing, and I really don't like it for sales copy. I understand the intent, and if you're writing like a newsletter or for something for fun, it's fine to put something like that. Like it's a bit jokey. Like if they're just reading a newsletter, there's not really much skin in the game for them. They're just there to have fun and to be entertained and to read whatever it is that you're saying. However, for this, where this is sales copy and you're trying to convince me of something, all this does is make me think about something else I wasn't thinking of. Wait, should I not be relying on copy templates and formulas? Should I be worrying about that right now? Should I go and see another product to do that? Is because this seems like that this product is nothing to do with this. If it was adding just comedic value on its own, might be fine. But the fact is, this is drawing my attention away from the thing you're talking about and implying that there's something else I need to know about. And then you're moving into this idea of, hey, you're just stuck watching courses and reading books right now, which might be fine if you're writing to someone who's stuck in that, and like that's the idea, is that, hey, the only way to actually, aren't you sick of just continuing to watch courses, like you're not actually getting anywhere? The way to kill that is to start reading real copy, because your skill level will grow overnight and you'll be able to start making real money from it, for example. Like that's fine. That's a fine message on its own. Is that the message that you're trying to get across here? I don't know. You haven't said about that up here, and it's not something that you start by saying. It feels like you're kind of throwing things in and not thinking about why you're throwing it in, or just thinking, well, I'll throw that in to keep the rhythm going and to like make this kind of writing work. There's a lot of good meat in here. I just think that the targeting you're doing and how you're trying to connect points A to B, I think need to improve. Right, I hope that helps.